Hey guys, welcome to another episode of CarpFishing.Tips. This week we went through to, you guessed it, fun fishing at Red Flay Zoo Farm here in Alberton, just off Swartkopies. We were at the same swim we were the last 2-3 times we've been there. And this is the direction we had all our rods, and the fishing forecast was at 0%. Wonderful. So what happened? Well, the fishing forecast was at 0%, so we thought we'd give it a shot anyway, just for the sake of it. The one good thing about fun fishing is that even though the forecast can be really low, sometimes you can still catch fish. And I believe it's got something to do with the shape of the dam, and the fact that it's a big oval and the fish don't really have anywhere to go except round in circles. So at some point they'll come past your circle, but that could just be wishful thinking. We had a pretty good afternoon. We got there around 3, I think, so we were quite late. We normally try and get to the dam by about 2. That gives us a good 4 hours. This is the position of our rods. We had everything facing towards the tackle shop. So we had the rods facing towards the tackle shop. And yeah, we had all 4 rods out. We didn't take out the float fishing rod. It was just too hot, so we thought the fish wouldn't be coming to the surface. We didn't actually try, which is bad of us. We should have given it a shot. But yeah, hey, can't always be on the top of your game, eh? Although in our case, I don't know if we're ever on top of our game. Nonetheless, these are the baits we were using. We stuck with one yellow rod. Had 2D Fruity Millies. We made a bit of a change from having only the banana floaties from A to Z baits and garlic backing. We decided to scrap the garlic backing. We put the banana floaties on the one hook. We put the 2D Fruity Millies on the other hook, and we used Detonated Dips Bandorka, which is banana, as a bowl dip. On our other yellow rod we had, what did we have? We had the Pandemonium, I believe. So we had Supercast Pandemonium soft float oozes. We had the Garlic Zero float 10 mils from Fish, and Detonated Dips Elevator, Raspberry, and Devil's Drac. It's all in one bowl dip. And then on our purple rod we had almond millies on the one hook. We had a garlic floater. We had a garlic large float from Fish. It's also quite a hard float, and they're quite big. I think they're 8 mil. I think with Coniflex Carp Series Fireball, and then on top of that we put the Carp Series Almond. And then on our bass rod we had the Magic Bait Silver Medals with a garlic zero float again, and also 10 mil. And then we put Highball Supercast on the bowl dip first, and then Spider-Man Supercast bowl dip on top of that. We are testing out the theory that putting the strongest smelling bowl dip underneath the sweet smelling bowl dip gets you a bite faster, or gets you a bite just in general. So far I'm not actually too sure whether it's working or not, but it does seem to be working, because when we do it we do seem to get bites. But I'm also not sure if that's just the way the day is going to go. We still need to do a little bit more data finding and fact finding around that. But hey, you know, in terms of pseudoscience, put the strong bowl dip underneath and then put the sweet bowl dip on top. We have seen in a couple of the forums there is a lot of that too, where they'll say, you know, either you should mix the bowl dips on the bomb itself, on the milli bomb, so like just smudge them together with your finger, and then in other cases they'll say to you put a little bit of the strong smelling one and a little bit of the sweet smelling one on top of it, so that as the sweet smelling one goes away, the stronger one comes out as well. Or it almost like makes the strong smelling bowl dip a little bit less strong, well, not less strong, weaker in the water, so it may just be what the fish want. Again, as fishing goes, you're trying to figure out what the fish are looking to eat that day. And especially when it comes to things like artificials like this, well, I suppose like these are half artificial, half natural baits, because the mealies are natural baits, but the rest of the stuff's not quite that natural, although it has natural flavors. Yeah, so that was what we were working with. And this week we were setting up all the alarms, and we just gotten the rods sorted. We were busy tightening up the lines and making sure that everything's ready, making sure that the alarms were all on. We're even getting into the habit of making all our alarms have different tones, so that we know which alarm it is that we should be looking at. Because obviously, since we've got two of the same alarms, they both start with the same they start with the same tone. So we sometimes get confused as to which one's which and which rod we should be looking at. Got to kind of like try and make it. And there goes the rod almost.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was quite quick.
Well, that was quick.
And that second rod came off the bite alarm because my leg hit the rod button and took it off the alarm. For a moment there I thought it was another fish. I was like, oh my god, can you imagine 2 fish at the same time? So we had to bring the carp towards the left side of the swim, just to try and get him away from the lines that we had in the right side of the swim, and also to try and get him away from these concrete pillars that are in the water, so that he doesn't wrap us up in them and then we lose him by him cutting the line. It was a decent fight. As you can see, the rod, this telescopic's got a nice soft tip, so it bends quite nicely and gives you a pretty good bite indication and that kind of thing. But even in a fight, it's quite nice to watch the rod bend that much. So it's quite a light rod. And we managed to net him. Can you believe it? As you know, we're famous for knocking the fish off the hook, and he still had a lot of fight in him. So this little guy fell to the almond minis, I think. Now we're just trying to decide whether we need to go get the forceps and if the fish is going to take off with the net. And just as we were about to make the decision, guess what? He unhooked himself. So if you ever wonder whether barbless hooks are a good idea, this is why barbless hooks are a great idea.
Got to use himself.
I've never used Sprightly in my life before. I don't know why I all of a sudden decided that today was a good day to use the word Sprightly. But hey, don't say you don't learn anything watching our YouTube channel. So it was 2.8 with a net, which means he's about 2.2 kilos, between 2.2 and 2.3 kilos. So pretty much the average size of fish that you'll catch in the fun fishing oval dam. There was a father and son directly opposite us in the middle island, fishing to the opposite side, and they caught about 2 or 3 fish, I think. While I was setting up, so I hadn't put the rods in yet, and they were catching fish quite quickly, one after the other, probably about a 15-20 minute wait between fish. So I was quite hopeful that we'd also catch some decent fish on this side. And here this alarm's going off, but it had been going off consistently throughout the day, you know, just little nibbles at the bait. So I thought it was either a crab or something, but of course it is a nice future PB, as I'm calling them. These are probably the tiniest carp you could catch on a size 1 hook. But yeah, those are future PBs, guys. So watch this space. We have high hopes for those little guys. And here's the other one. Yeah. What we are going to do is we're going to upsize our hooks again and go to something around a 7 to 8 size hook, and see what that does if we do go back to fun fishing this week, which we might, and see if that manages to get rid of the small bites and gives us only slightly bigger fish. Again, we'll do the test on our yellow rods. Will probably be these standard traces that we've, well, not standard, but these traces that we've made with the smaller size 1 hooks, and then we'll use the bigger hooks on the bass rod and the telescopic. Surprisingly enough, this week the bass rod didn't produce, which is very bizarre. It's a good change for a bit, because for a moment there we thought it was something to do with the bass rod, and we needed to change the mojo, try and figure out what the story is with the bass rod to get our fishing up. But yeah, so it's been a good one, guys, and that's it from us. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. If you got this far, come on, do us a favor and give us a like. Why not? And if you got any comments about how you, in terms of using different tactics, please do let us know in the comments. We'd love to know. Tight lines, guys.